Good afternoon, everybody. Thank you for joining us. It is Marc McMain. Special shout out to my buddy Mitch Swan. Thank you to him for the time he had given us, and he's taking a little bit of a sabbatical. He's not gone for good. He's taking a little sabbatical.
Okay.
He's resting that big brain of his and all the incredible details and all the things he shared with us over the past couple months.
Yes.
So thank you, Mitch.
Absolutely.
Yep. All right. Got a big show in store for us today. Chassie, what'd you do over the weekend?
Hey, it was a great weekend. A lot of time with the family.
You had your little lake time, didn't you?
Yes, even got to come hang out in Monroe.
We
Enjoy
had
the
fun.
live remote with
Yeah.
you and Les, and Sandra Daniels was there. And
Thank you, Sandy.
That's
Thank
right.
you to Monroe, the town of Monroe, inviting us
Yes.
down. We spent the morning, Saturday morning, downtown Monroe behind the courthouse. We had a 3-hour remote.
It was so hot.
Gave away a ton of T-shirts. It was hot, but we were
It
under
was
the
so
shade,
hot.
so we felt good
Yeah,
where
it
we were.
was.
So then we got to pack up, go home, have lunch, cool off. Then we came back that night, set up shop in the parking lot of the Monroe Police Department. Actually set up on their front porch.
Nice.
Yeah. And we did a live remote covering the fireworks show.
Added security. I like that.
That was great.
Hey.
Chief Harvey Watts gave us a tour of what
He's
was
so
going
nice.
on. You know
He
what?
is great.
Chastity, we are blessed.
We are.
We have these incredible men and women protecting us here in Walton County, not just the Walton County Sheriff's Department, but the City of Monroe Police Department. You go over to Oconee County, the Watkinsville Police
Absolutely.
Department. There's such a strong presence of law enforcement that you don't even think about your safety.
Absolutely.
You feel so good.
It's a lot of fun. Great fellowship. Everybody, the kids having a great time.
It was.
So,
It was a
do a great
well attended
job.
event. I don't know what the population was between the morning and the night, but I'm guaranteeing there was thousands of people that
Oh,
poured
yes.
into downtown Monroe to enjoy the morning festivities, to enjoy the fireworks show at night, and as I promised, it was the best fireworks show in the state of Georgia.
yeah.
I don't know how you
Monroe does
measure
a great
that.
job. That's
we
right.
knock it out
Yes,
of the park. It
we
was
do.
just a lot of fun.
I agree.
All right, so that was fun. My good buddy Brett Malden is joining me
Yes.
today. Brett, thanks for hanging out with us today.
Thank you for the invite. Always have a
I was
blast.
thinking, how do I introduce you? I would say Brett is a godly man, he is a family man, and he is a businessman in that order.
Very good.
Did I
Yep.
nail it?
Yeah, and I know what the definition of a man and a woman is, so there's
Amen to
positives
that.
there.
Amen.
That's a prerequisite to be on my show.
Right.
That's the first question on the list. Can you be on the Marc McMain show? Brett, I saw a killer movie last night. And this movie is probably not still in the mainstream when you think of movies that hit the theaters. And this was at the theater. I saw it at the AMC Bethlehem 12 over there off of 316. It was called Young Washington. Have y'all seen any previews about this?
No, not at all.
I saw a couple of clips, but nothing more than that.
This was a fantastic movie. It was done by the Angel Studios or Angel Network. That's kind of a conservative, patriotic entity that's been putting out some content. Not to rival Netflix, but it's been pretty active. I mean, they have series. I think their big one that they have is called Homestead. It was a movie and a series. Very well done. But this was a movie, and there's no spoilers because this is based on factual historical events. This was a movie chronicling George Washington from being a kid to a teenager to a young adult. So it doesn't really touch into the time when he was leading our independence against the British. It was actually time when he was serving the British. He was serving the crown. And I don't know how much of it when you're watching the movie is 100% factual. There's little things. I love watching a movie and then going back and doing my research and say, did that really happen? You know, that one little scene that they showed. So I can't wait to do that part. But I'm just going to tell our listeners, as an overall production, it was an extremely good movie. And I'm going to throw it in the same genre of Last of the Mohicans. It was that type of movie.
Wow.
And it was the best movie I've seen since Last of the Mohicans of that type of genre.
Sounds like a great patriotic movie to be seeing this time of the,
Absolutely.
250 years of America. So makes you even want to give thanks even more. So I have
They
to go see
timed the
that.
release of the movie perfectly. You're
Yeah.
right, Chastity. To bring this out around 4th of July, I don't know when the first day in the theaters was. I think it was this past week. And if you don't want to go to the theaters, Brett, what you can do is you can sign up for the Angel. I keep calling it the Angel Network. Just go to Angel. I guess you'd Google Angel movies, and you can sign up just like you would Netflix. And then it gives you access to all their content.
Yeah. I remember back in the day, it was almost like a death to your career when you got into some of these, off mainstream
Christian or
production.
patriot. Yeah, right.
And I think we were talking about it earlier. I mean, I think the first one that really kind of broke that was when Fireproof came out with Kirk Cameron, because it was good acting, but it was the Kendrick brothers out of Albany were the ones that put that.
They
on.
out of Albany?
Yeah.
It's a little home
Yeah.
cooking.
They used to go to church with my some of our good friends.
But you're right. That was a very good movie.
Mm-hmm.
It didn't, because I think sometimes when movies came out that maybe had that stigma, they were a little bit cheesy, a little bit corny. Fireproof was just fantastic. It just felt like any other movie.
Yeah, it seems like every time that they were putting out Christian movies and some that were a little bit not mainstream, it almost seemed like a VeggieTale movie. You know, it's kind of just cheesy for the kids, but it was, meaning like, that. I'm excited to see that movie now.
You brought me back with VeggieTales.
That's right.
Yeah. My boys are grown now, but I bet you I throw a little
remember that
VeggieTales. I'm
too.
going to catch them watching it right there. Well, yeah, definitely. If you're up for going to the theaters, take them to see this movie. And if not, if you just Google Angel, I guess it's Angel Movies, Angel Network. I'll find out what the actual thing is. You sign up for it. It's a membership, just like you would Netflix. I think you pay by the month or you can pay in advance by the years, which I did. It gives you access to all the content. And many of the shows I'm watching are really, really good. Mm-hmm. And then, like you said, Brett, Kelsey Grammer, I think Ben Kingsley was one of, I'm not up to date on all the actors' names, but it had some good high-profile actors, and the acting was excellent.
And something else I'd give a quick plug for, there's an app that we have called VidAngel that we can run and stream certain platforms through it, and it'll actually clean up the cussing, the sex scenes, any of the nudity, so that if my kids want to, which I got a 15-year-old, a 12-year-old, and a 10-year-old, they still want to watch some of the other TV shows and movies, they can run it through this, and it'll clean it up.
I am a Christian, I am a conservative, but I've been known to watch some pretty hardcore movies like Goodfellas.
Yeah.
Scarface.
Yeah, that would turn Goodfellas down to about 5 minutes, I believe.
That would make it into a short. But that's called VidAngel.
VidAngel.
Is it an app on your TV? How do you do it? So
just an app on your TV you get. It's a subscription as well, and it'll have the platforms that you click on it, and then it'll have the different platforms, and you can search movies through it that you already have. Like, so if you have YouTube TV or you have Showtime or something like that, it can stream those through.
So it pulls it in through that, cleans
Correct.
it up, and then the finished product is.
So just think of a filter.
Yeah,
and
that's
you
cool.
can change the filter settings so that if you and your spouse are having a date night and the kids are in bed or whatnot, I mean not you because yours are already out of the house.
Yeah.
But if somebody's house, we're wanting a date night, they can still watch the full.
I may be guilty of something. I may have showed my boys some movies that they shouldn't have seen, like Goodfellas, when they're at a not appropriate age. I mean, I didn't show it to them like when they were 6. It may have been like 12. I don't know. It's probably not the best. But that was a good movie. Chastity, tell me you've seen. She's already.
I haven't.
You've never seen Goodfellas?
No, I know it's terrible, and I'm so patriotic, and I love a
Well,
good
it's
movie.
not a patriotic movie.
Oh, it's
at
not.
all.
Oh, okay.
This is all about the mafia, and
I mean,
Oh, so-
mafia is kind of
Yeah.
American.
it's nothing to be ashamed of that you haven't seen it. I'm just
No, I haven't.
surprised you haven't seen it. But it was a good movie, but it was a little bit wrong. All right, Brett, let's do this because I've had you on the show a few times. For our listeners that don't know, just tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your family and your business and what you do for a living.
Yeah. So married 20 years to my college sweetheart, Candace. We have
Beautiful lady.
3 amazing, she's the best thing I've ever accomplished in my life, is convincing that woman to marry me.
A little bribery involved.
Yeah, 100%. They're like, this guy must have a ton of money. Like, joke's on you. We thought she was blind for a while, but yeah.
Aw.
Anyway, so 3 amazing kids. Just super proud of them. They're in their own things. Like my youngest is into archery and soccer.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And my middle child is into basketball and ballet, and then my son is into swim and music.
Nice.
Fantastic. So you guys, there's no spare time in the Molden
Oh
household.
yeah. There's no carpooling to each practice.
Everybody's got their own destination to go
100%.
into. I bet you can't wait for your oldest to get this driver's license.
Yeah, yes and no. So we're going through that now. Any parents out there that know what it's like to train a 15-year-old how to drive, we're going through it right now. And
Yeah.
my wife is a nervous wreck.
Yeah, that is tough.
Yeah.
That is tough. That's,
But yes, small business owner. I've been in the construction industry since I was 11 years old because there's no child labor laws when it's your child.
Dad put you to work at a young age. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I remember my first week working with him, I was making $2 an hour, and I got $1 an hour raise, and I'm like, man, by the end of summer, I'm going to be at $50 an hour at this rate. Didn't quite work that way.
Yeah.
No, so we we're able to employ quite a few people in the area. We go all over the southeast now, and
And that's in the kitchen countertop and kitchen cabinetry, right?
That's
Is that
correct.
your space?
yeah. So yeah, it's what I've always known. I love the trades. I love being able to show people that you can build something with your hand, and you don't have to, go out to make money. You don't have to go out and be a doctor or a lawyer. And
That's
there's
right.
great
Great
that we have
careers,
those
yep.
people, but you don't have to go to school nearly as long to work in the trades.
Yeah, you don't have to accrue debt from higher education.
Yeah.
Trade schools, I think you can be completed within 6 months. And a lot of the times, these trade schools, somebody's going to pay for you to go to those schools.
Absolutely.
They'll pay you. You go to the right employer, they'll pay you to go to the trade school so you can come out, understand what you're doing. And then, like you said, Brett, come out making money comparable to what a 4-year college degree will get you.
Well, just looking at, $200,000 worth of student loan debt,
Yeah.
how long is that going to take you to pay
That's right.
back?
Yeah.
And there's people that are, I'm not telling people anything they don't already know, but, people paying on it for 20 years and only knocking it down $1,000, $2,000, it
Sticks with you a
crippling.
long
And
time.
you can't bankrupt that.
No, that's right. It doesn't. You can't get out from under it. Marc McMain Show. We've got Brett Malden here in studio. Chastity, our incredible producer on the boards. Chastity, when I'm here and you're not here, I miss you. I miss your expertise in what you're doing over there.
That is so nice.
And we got all new equipment, all new computers.
Yes.
What do you think of this fancy setup
It's
that we
fancy.
got? Yeah.
Very fancy.
We're still a little dirt road
High
radio
tech.
station, but we're high tech rednecks. Is what
That's
we are.
right. I love our location. It's
Brett,
perfect.
something I want to do coming up. We're not going to do it today, but I talked to you yesterday when we were planning to get you on the show. I want to do a show coming up, and you're going to come back. You're going to help me do this. And the theme of the show is going to be called Imperfect Dads. And it's not going to be from the perspective of we know everything and how to raise kids, because you're learning it. I learned it. There's no handbook. You kind of figure things out as you go. But I think there's something that we could share. And I can tell you this, my circle of friends, I've got hundreds of friends who could step in on that show and do a jam-up job because they're great dads. But I think there's something that you and I could share on the airwaves that maybe a young, aspiring, soon-to-be father could take from it. So we're going to do this show. It's called Imperfect Dads. I don't even know what the content's going to be. Just going to maybe share our experiences and give some tips and advice, on how to not raise an axe murderer.
Yeah.
I think that's the end goal, right?
I'm not done raising mine yet, so let's not jump to conclusions. But I like your premise. No, and that's the thing is, just knowing you don't know what you're doing sometimes,
Yeah.
and you're figuring out as you go. And I think too often with social media and media in general, you constantly feel like you're a failure. But just loving your kids sets you farther apart than most other dads are. So
And that's going to be the theme is obviously being present, but understanding that you, no matter how prepared you are, you're going to fail.
Oh yeah.
You're going to fail, and how you deal with that, how you relay that to your kids, whether you have boys. In my case, I've got 2 boys who are now grown and they're out pursuing their own version of the American dream. But for you, you've got a daughter that's a whole different complexity as a dad when you have a girl. But I thought it would be good to do that. I was sharing this idea with Liliana last night. I said, I think we're going to call this show The Imperfect Dad. And she said, why don't you do another one called The Imperfect Husband?
Oof.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking the imperfect mom, so yeah, that would be cute.
That
But,
said, you, Liliana,
Yeah.
could do The Imperfect Mom.
yeah,
All
and slash dad. I'm just kidding.
but she reminded me, why don't you do one The Imperfect Husband? I'm like, oh,
Or
okay.
husband, yes.
That was tough.
That kind of started the argument that you slept on the couch.
That's right. Oh, that's too good. Too good. All right, Marc McMain Show. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we got a lot to talk about, Brett. And look, we're going to be all over the place today, so I hope you and Chastity are caffeined up and ready to keep up with me, because I'm going to be touching on everything from World Cup. We're hitting some World Cup. Even though I'm not a big soccer fan, we're going to hit on it. To the economy. We may even dabble a little bit into politics. I don't have too much politics queued up. It's going to be a good show. So stick around. We'll be right back.
And even talking local blood drive coming up, too.
Oh, yeah.
So,
Don't let me forget that, Chastity.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll be right back in just a few.
I chuckled at a cartoon that showed a news conference by a United States senator who announced that he was divorcing his family so he could spend more time with politics. We may laugh, but the truth is many people make that statement every day. Maybe not with words, but with their actions. In fact, if a politician retires from his work to spend more time with his family, it becomes the lead story met with cynicism on the evening news, while the one who rejects his family advancing his career is commonplace. God tells us we should work hard to the glory of God, but He has clearly shown that we must have priorities. A relationship with God first, and family follows that. What does your focus tell you about your priorities? The Bible says that we have brought nothing into this world and we can take nothing out of it. It's good to focus on the things that last, like putting God first, and then family, and then people all around us that God loves. This is Bryant Wright, speaking right from my heart.
Visit rightfromtheheart.org and click television to watch our TV spots.
Hey y'all, this is Bethany, owner of Willfully Guided Co. Boots and Western Apparel. From durable work boots built for long days to statement pieces ready for Saturday night and everything in between, we've got the brands that feel just right for everyone in the family. Stop by and see why we're your one-stop shop. Willfully Guided Co. Boots and Western Apparel is located at 116 South Broad Street, right in the heart of downtown Monroe. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok to keep up with all the fun events happening with Willfully Guided Co. and for previews of all of our newest merchandise.
Are you looking for custom t-shirts, golf shirts, or uniforms for yourself or work? What about a family reunion, a fundraiser, or sports team? Whatever you're looking for, Chris and Debbie at Blue Hound in Monroe can help you. Real Country uses Blue Hound for our golf shirts and t-shirts. They do quality work and they're great folks. Blue Hound is located at 111 East Washington Street in Monroe. Go by and see what they can do for you or call 404-307-3664. That's 404-307-3664. Tell them April sent you.
Welcome back. Marc McMain, my good buddy Brett Malden here in the studio with me, and of course Chastity on the boards keeping us between the lines. Folks, there's a big blood drive coming up. This is hosted by the Walton County Veterans Association, VFW Post 4421. If you have not been there, this is the brand new Monroe VFW. Is it the Monroe VFW or the Walton County VFW?
It's the Walton County VFW.
Okay.
But it's kind of both names in there, but it serves all of Walton County veterans. So.
It is a fantastic,
Amazing.
brand new facility.
Yes, beautiful.
And Joe Chapman and his team rallied the troops, got
Yes,
everybody involved
they
to
sure
build this
did.
incredible building. So they're hosting a blood drive. It's going to be Wednesday, July 15th, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. And this is located at 1712 Snows Mill Road right here in Monroe. So it's a brand new place. Just, even if you're not up for giving blood and you are a veteran, you got to learn about this place.
Absolutely.
It's a wonderful place to come and socialize. Are you guys going to have on Courtney Chansey?
Yes.
And the team?
So we're hoping to get them on to talk about it as well, but yes, we definitely want to.
Are we going to get him on my show?
Hopefully.
Okay, we got to do
If
it quick then because
yeah.
this is the 15th. All right.
I know.
Yeah.
So we're kind of crunch time, but it's okay. We're still going to let the listeners know what's
Yep.
going on and the awesome facility over there off of Snows Mill that the veterans have created for our community and our veterans is just amazing.
A couple tips they're giving. They're saying be sure to eat iron-rich foods, drink plenty of water, and sleep well before donating. The photo ID is required. And donors will receive a free Fandango movie ticket via email. That's a nice little incentive, yeah.
Hey.
You can get that movie ticket
There
and
you
go
go.
see Young
Perfect.
Washington.
Yes.
All right, give a
Sounds
little blood,
good.
be a patriot. What do you think of that, Brett?
Oh, yeah.
Perfect timing.
All right. Yeah, but let's get him on. That'd be great.
Absolutely.
All right, something I had queued up in the last segment. We ran out of time. We're going to carry this over. Obviously, World Cup soccer is going on. It's a big deal in Atlanta because we are hosting some of the games here. Other locations throughout the United States, Mexico, Canada included. I didn't play soccer growing up. My boys played soccer, and I coached them. So I have a true appreciation for the sport, but I don't consider myself a rabid soccer fan. Like, I'm not going to go watch Atlanta United and adjust my schedule around like I would a Bulldogs game, right? I'm going to be sure I'm going to watch the Bulldogs. But I have to say I enjoy it when it's on. I'm watching USA when they're on, and it's been pretty fun.
Oh, yeah. No, it's been exciting. Just seeing how the nation's kind of focused on it now. When it comes to the red cards and everything, we're all sitting there like, that barely a hit, man. I watch harder, high fives on the in a football game, So that's been a little hard for me to kind of understand some of the rules and nuances and whatnot, because everybody becomes a pro at it when they see it live.
What I struggle with is the flopping.
Yeah.
I do struggle with the flopping. I don't mind. I enjoy when they jump up, collide, bump heads, fall down. They are in anguish for 10 seconds. But I relate this to a hockey game. If you were to see an ice hockey player lay on the ice in anguish for 60 seconds or a minute and 20, they're taking him off on a stretcher.
Oh yeah.
He's not. It's just a different mentality. So they're trying to get that extra card.
Well, so we talked about this before. I played a year of college football, and then I played 3.5 years of rugby.
It's a man sport.
Well, in rugby, when you go down, the medic just comes to you. The game still goes. So they're still playing, and they're over there trying to treat you.
Interesting. So game on.
Yeah. So there's no stopping.
Yeah.
So when I see, and forgive me, any soccer fans out there, please don't, judge me too bad, but you're almost flopping around like a fish on the shore,
It's hard to watch.
Well, and I'm like, as I'm watching this, I'm like, this guy is going to have to go to the hospital. And then the ref's like, stand up. And he's like, okay, I guess I'm not too bad
I know
off.
how to fix this, though, instantly.
Yeah?
The instant fix for the flopping in soccer is that if you were down more than 10 seconds, you have to come off the field for 10 minutes, and your team plays down. So you have to make the decision, am I really hurt? And if I am, stay down. They're going to get me off the field. I get a 10-minute break. Or am I flopping? But this nonsense of them laying around for 90 seconds.
And I kind of look at it, is it the chicken or the egg when it comes to soccer and LeBron James? Because which one started the flop the best, right? Because there's times where I'm like, they're going to have to amputate that guy's leg. And
Does
then
LeBron do this? I don't watch basketball
Oh,
hardly
yeah,
ever.
yeah.
He's a big flop master.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
I'm like, man, your shoelace just came untied. Just retie it. You're
Interesting.
fine.
I didn't know that. Yeah, I'm not a big basketball fan. Definitely not a big LeBron fan. But I am proud of the United States of America. So we had a little controversy at the last USA game. And I did see the video of this where our star forward, our leading goal scorer, went up for a contested ball. And I guess the parameters for a red card, would it be reckless and would it be intent to injure? I called my buddy Michael Brandsdorf, who is a Walton County legend as far as soccer is concerned in the youth soccer program or the recreational soccer program. So I called Michael last night. I said, give me the rundown. So he broke it down for me. Shouldn't have been a red card, more than likely. Shouldn't have been a red card. It was, it's soccer. It's a contact sport. So the other dude got hurt. He kind of stomped his foot when he came down. He gets a red card, which means he's not only out for that game, but he'd be out for the next game, which is going to be against Belgium. And I guess that game's tonight, right, Chastity? Are we on tonight?
8 o'clock.
8 o'clock tonight. So President Trump, you got to love him, makes a phone call. The boy's back on the field. He's back.
The crazy thing is I was looking at some of the writers talking about it. If a country tries to get involved and tries to influence FIFA, that soccer team is supposed to be disqualified for the rest of the tournament.
Interesting.
So they were like, Trump trying to get involved in it. I'm like, well, he's probably trying to figure out where FIFA is so he can go bomb it if, there's one, I don't know where your country FIFA is.
I think Trump just had to be cool about it. He probably called the head of FIFA and just said, hey, I don't think this was a red card. Go look at it.
Well,
and then they came up with their own, because it wasn't a red card.
No, but the thing that got me was, in real time as I'm watching it, it just looked like they were it doesn't look like there was any intent to injure the person. Now, I've never played soccer, and I understand that, there's nuances you can do to probably hurt somebody, I'm sure, especially you start going towards the Achilles tendon and the calf.
Right.
I'm sure that could really wreck somebody's career, ankles, because you can't run. But, it just didn't seem like there
Shouldn't have been a red card.
No, but the fact that, and that may be where the argument was, is they're not supposed to use the video review in slow motion to be able to determine if it's a red card when there wasn't a penalty called on the field, is what I was understanding.
NHL does it different. NHL will go back and they'll look to see if there's egregious attempt, and if there should be a bigger penalty. But what I say is, hey, what was the bigger problem? That the red card was issued, which was massively impactful to the United States, or the fact that they rescinded it, or they didn't rescind the red card. What Michael told me is it's being delayed.
Yeah, for a year or
For
something?
a year. Yeah. That's the best way to do it. Look, we got the right outcome. This dude he should be on the field tonight. What's going to be a real bummer for Belgium is if the United States wins 1-0 and he scores the lone goal.
Well, and they were saying, they sent out a tough worded response saying that they don't know how they're going to proceed with the World Cup in the future. I was like, man, get me more Cape Verdes out there, you know?
Yeah,
get those,
that's right.
You know, those
Yeah.
sleepers, those, yeah.
Belgium, you will not be missed. What are they known for? Beer?
Waffles?
Oh,
I'm just
that's
kidding.
right.
That's what I get when I.
Hey, if you told me I could never eat another Belgian waffle again, but the United States wins tonight, that's a trade-off. That's a trade-off. I'm in.
Yeah, they're known for Belgian waffles the same way France is known for French fries, probably.
That's right.
Okay. Or crepes.
There you go.
Marc McMain, Brett Malden's here with me, Chastity on the boards. Brett, crazy story I'm about to share with you guys. This is the stunner of the weekend. If you haven't heard about this story, it tugged my heart when I first read it, and now there's been some later developments, but I guess this was last week, an 18-month-old Arizona boy who had drowned or nearly drowned during a Super Bowl party. Well, this was Super Bowl. That was what? It was 5 months ago. All right, so this story just came out. He was mistakenly declared dead by the doctor, and then he was brought to the morgue, and they realized he had a heartbeat and he was alive.
That's wild.
18-month-old baby. Now imagine the unbelievable gyrations and trauma that the parents had gone through, thinking that they lost their 18-month-old baby, and then get a phone call later on saying, hey, come back. Your son is alive. So there's a lot of moving parts to this whole deal, and what I extrapolated from the research that I've done is that the police officer who was actually with the doctor at the time when they're trying to revive the kid was saying, hey, I think this child still has a pulse. I think it's alive. And the doctor was combative. The doctor's like, hey, no, not the case. I'm the doctor here. And what I say goes, and declared the baby dead. Then he gets to the morgue, and they find out that the baby's alive. Now there's concerns about, does the baby have maybe some long-term issues without oxygen so long, maybe some brain damage. It's too soon to know how extensive the damage is, not just to the brain, but other organs that could have suffered. But the child was discovered alive more than 4 hours after being transferred to the morgue and was immediately airlifted to Phoenix Children's Hospital for emergency treatment. The hospital said it conducted a thorough internal review of the incident, calling it heartbreaking. Doctors got some questions to ask.
Yeah. No, and I look at it that we still serve a God of miracles.
Yes.
You know, I don't know if they were praying family members for that child, but that kid can do some amazing things.
Wow.
I mean, just think about that. A new lease on life, even at 18 months old, you know.
That
a
is
blessing.
quite a story.
Yes.
You know, I almost drowned at 18 months old.
Really?
Yeah. I was 18 months. I fell into a pool, and my mom was on the sun porch of the house. I'm just, I don't remember this first person. I just remember the story. So she heard a splash in the pool and didn't think about it till after a couple minutes. And by the time her and my brother, who was 7 years old at the time, I was at the bottom of the pool unconscious.
Oh, wow.
And my 7-year-old brother, who probably weighed about 35 pounds, he was skinny as can be, jumped in and pulled me up. And then my mom didn't know CPR, and she did, started mashing on my chest, whatever, and I started coughing up water. But I was unconscious, blue in the face when they got me out of the water. So it can happen. It can happen to anybody. When you hear these stories, it's a knee-jerk reaction sometimes. Oh, what were the parents doing? It can happen to anybody.
Man, anytime you ever hear about kids' injuries and stuff, man, that is just, it tugs at my heart. Being a dad, just, man, that's heartbreaking. I'm so glad that the child survived. I want to follow that story moving forward, and, see how he grows and progresses in life.
Wouldn't it be something really special happens? It says, despite suffering organ failure immediately after the incident, the toddler has continued to recover. Family updates say follow-up testing found no brain damage.
Oh, wow.
Which is a miracle in itself. Yes. When you've been deprived of oxygen that long, though he still requires ongoing therapy and medical monitoring. So, yeah.
It's incredible.
God had his hand in that one.
God is good.
You're listening to the Marc McMain Show. Take a quick break. When we come back, we'll have some more action for y'all. Don't go anywhere.
When looking for new shoes, the place to check out is K&D Shoes in Conyers. Family owned and operated for over 30 years, offering one of the largest selection of shoes for men, women, and for the kids. From name brands like Ariat, Rocky, Georgia Boot, Hey Dude, and others. You'll find everything from casual to work boots all under one roof. Be sure to see their great selection of outerwear from name brands like Carhartt, Ariat, and more. Need athletic shoes? Then see their great selection from brands like New Balance, Brooks, Reebok, Hoka, and more. Open Monday through Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and on Sunday from 1 p.m. to 6 p.m. That's K&D Shoes, 2250 Dogwood Drive in Conyers. Call 770-483-9037. Or to learn more and see their great selection, go to kndshoes.com.
Around here, there are 4 things folks hold close: faith, family, friends, and their Fords. That's what Loganville Ford is built on. We believe in treating people right, working hard, and standing behind every handshake. Because this isn't just where we sell cars, it's where neighbors help neighbors, and relationships matter more than numbers. Loganville Ford, built on faith, driven by family, surrounded by friends, and proud to represent Ford. LoganvilleFord.com.
Now at McDonald's, everyone can get more of what they want, when they want it, with McValue. You can choose your wake-up call. You can choose your study meal, or even your drive-through dinner.
Get more choices every day. Stop at McDonald's and reward yourself with a $1 vanilla cone or $2 hot fudge or caramel sundae for a limited time. Price and participation may vary, cannot be combined with any other offer.
Welcome back, Marc McMain. Brett, did you hear about the story over in Oglethorpe County about a teacher? I'm not going to name any names. There's a teacher that after the Charlie Kirk assassination had come out and taken to social media saying that the world, what was her exact phrase? I think she said maybe the world was a safer place or a better place because of his death. And she did it on her own private social media account. It wasn't like she did it from the school's platform. And the school took action. She said the world was safer without Kirk, was the phrase that she used. And so the school took action. They met with her. They, gave her a temporary, what would you call it, like adjournment, and then wanted her to leave. And so she filed a lawsuit saying that her, First Amendment rights had been breached, and got a settlement for around $330,000. And the impression I get from reading in this story is the school system was kind of like, hey, good riddance, take your $330 and don't, part of the agreement was you don't come back and work in Oglethorpe County. And it's an interesting subject because obviously I get emotionally charged when I hear this stuff on the cusp of the assassination of one of the most influential young Christians that we know.
That did so peacefully.
And the world is not a safer place without him. The world is missing a true, wonderful human being. But it creates a difficult subject because conservatives have been on the opposite side of this before, right? Where we've come out, we've said stuff, and conservatives have been punished. And so where does free speech cross the line? This is a tough one. And especially if she used her own private social media platform, if she didn't use the platform from the school system, I firmly believe that if a teacher was to say something like this in a classroom, it's a different animal. I think there needs to be recourse because you're now representing a school system, or maybe you're representing a business. But when you're out just saying your own thing on your own time, unfortunately, some people can say stupid crap and get away with it.
Well, considering she's a teacher and they focus on the golden rule, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say it at all. I mean, it's that simple. That's sad.
No, and that's the tough thing because 100% agree with you. I mean, we have freedom of speech. That's what we stand for and everything. But, we talk with my son all the time. I can say, if you play dumb games, he'll say, you win dumb prizes.
That's right.
Like, that's right. But when I look at it, your mouth, what comes out of your mouth is an outpouring of what's in your heart. So if you're talking about hatred and the world is a better place because somebody else is dead. Wasn't Hitler. This wasn't Mussolini or Stalin. He wasn't, killing mass numbers of people.
Right.
He would just have conversations. And for somebody to come out there and say something that hateful, what are they teaching in the class that's not being recorded or not being seen? So I would venture to say that they were saying controversial things inside the classroom, but do you have proof?
It wasn't isolated to this.
Yes. Yeah.
And I would venture to say just that she's a moron. I mean, it's just, you chalk it up for what it is. And maybe she was a great teacher, but to come out and say something like this, even on her own private Facebook page, it just shows that she's wrong. It's not a safer place. The world is unfortunately a more dangerous place because there are animals like the person that assassinated Charlie Kirk out there.
Yeah.
And she has to remember, this is a two-way street. This is not just a conservative that was assassinated by a radical. You have the situation where you're going to have people that we don't agree with, Brett, we as Christian conservative men, that there are animals out there wanting to kill them. So at what point does this stop? And that can't be the end game. So but I find it interesting that and this is an isolated story. There's more stories like this that have taken place across the country where you've had this conversation of free speech. I mean, this has become a part of a broader national debate where free speech, public employees' rights, the consequences of saying something controversial on social media, particularly when those comments are made outside of work.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, people have the right to express their views.
Well, my sister actually teaches in Oglethorpe County, and I can tell you that is not a school system that would put up with that kind of, they are very conservative. The people are overwhelmingly conservative that go to the school as well, the families. And I think if you were to poll those families, a majority of them would say that was a good use of our money
money well spent
to part ways.
Sayonara.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. And I think that was part of the deal is that she does not get to come back and work for Oglethorpe County. Well, like I said, we're business owners, and that is something that we potentially could face, Brett, where you have somebody, and I've kind of had some little situations like that where you've had an employee say something, and my approach is say, look, they did it on their own time outside of anything that I have to do with my business. Say what they want to say.
Well, we had a situation probably, I'd say 7 or 8 months ago, where somebody that was in a leadership role in one of our warehouses that we work had said something, and we disagree with it. It ruffled a lot of feathers. We quickly and decisively came to a decision that that person did not represent our beliefs.
Yeah.
We gave them a severance package to part ways with them, even though we weren't required to do so.
Right.
And I got everybody together on that team. There was probably about 15 or 20 of them that came to the meeting. And I told them, I said, I will 100% fight for your right to say whatever you want to say. I will fight for that right. But there are repercussions for saying whatever comes to your mind and what you believe in. There are. And we can no longer have you as part of our team because of what you said.
Yeah.
And I told that team, I said, I'll fight for your right as well. But there are repercussions when you are discriminatory, if you are sexist, if you're, whatever the case may be. And they're all in different situations. And, we have to look at things independently of other things like they did.
But can you imagine this? You're listening. Let me just jump in here. Be sure, listeners, we get to go on. You're listening to the Marc McMain Show. Brett Malden is joining me. He's a business owner out of Morgan County. Of course, Chastity on the boards. Brett, can you imagine in Georgia if unions had a strong foothold here? They're trying.
Yeah.
They're trying. And what that would mean is these situations that you and I are discussing, whether it was your business or the school system, who, if they had a stronger union, people could get away with really bad stuff and become almost unfireable.
Yeah.
So it's something that I think is important. This is a case study for the way Georgia does things. We're a great state to own a business. We're a great state to have a job. We're a great state to live, but we do not need unions. That is where you have too much protection for not performing, not behaving correctly, and then not suffering the consequences.
Well, and then somebody that does work regionally like myself, we're at a competitive disadvantage already because of no state income tax in Florida, Tennessee, reduced amounts in South Carolina. And so we're already at a competitive disadvantage. So now that my cost will be higher by using a union cost because the union is making a good chunk of change off of it as well.
Sure, yeah, no doubt. Speaking of which, House Speaker Mike Johnson announced, we talked about in great detail Mamdani, who is the new mayor of New York. I say new, he's been in there for 6 months now. And you're seeing a wave of these Democratic socialists like him, people that he's been advocating for, Bernie Sanders has been advocating for, AOC's been advocating for, starting to win some seats. Mm. And so Mike Johnson was warning that there's many Mamdanis lurking in the shadows, potentially going to be running or are running for office, potentially going to be winning or are winning these seats. And what this does is it shares that there is a larger appetite amongst the American population who want free things and don't want to work. Mm-hmm. That's what it boils down to. Mm-hmm. If that is your kind of guy that you want to see elected to office, somebody who's promising free this, control on that, killing capitalism, they're vociferously against capitalism. They're against conservative values. They're against everything that made this country great. And that there's a growing population of people willing to vote for them. That's what concerns me. I said this back when Obama was running for president. It wasn't that you had Obama running for president, is that there was millions of people waiting to vote for him.
Mm-hmm. I've always been a strong proponent that you can't legislate stupidity. There's just people out there. I was talking to somebody recently, and I said, listen, I'm a strong conservative, and I can get along with Democrats. I can. I can't get along with socialists, though.
That's right.
Because it doesn't compute to say that I can't be an active contributor to society. I need somebody else to take care of me. When they're willing or when they're able to work and they refuse to because they need somebody else to take care of them, eventually what ends up happening is people like you and I and Chastity and others out there, people that are listening to this radio station, I can guarantee you are hard workers, right? And to say that we need to ride on your coattails and we need you to provide for us because we can't provide for ourselves. And eventually the people pulling the wagons, those horses, get tired.
That's right. So why am I doing this?
Yeah. So I'll start working less. And what ends up happening time after time after time in socialism is 50% of the people are end up working. I mean, I think statistically right now there are more people in England, in England in general, that are on welfare programs than are actually
working. Contributing to the system.
Yeah. And they have to earn, as their whole household, $75,000, I think was the number I saw recently, $75,000 just to be equal to what the standard of living is from those people on the welfare system over there. So at some point, people are like, well, if I'm only making $75,000 as a family and they're making the same amount, why am I doing it? So you start having fewer and fewer and fewer people contributing to society, and then you end up having a handful of people doing it, and they're just like, man, forget this. And you saw Venezuela go down. Venezuela was one of the top 5 nations in the world on resources and production and being very wealthy. And I want to say it was with 15 or 20 years, they became one of the most poverty-stricken countries.
Well, and the reason for this is when you are out there and you're advocating for these, whether it be socialism or communism, you're advocating for these tenets, rarely do you see the leader, the person that is advocating for it, want to live by those tenets. They want the subjects to live by the tenets of socialism, but they themselves want to benefit from capitalism. Bernie Sanders is a perfect example of that. AOC is a perfect example of that. Mamdani is going to be a perfect example of that. None of them want to actually participate in their experiment. They just want the subjects to participate. And so my message to anybody out there that is a Democrat, and let's talk about this. Like you said, I don't hate Democrats. I have friends who are Democrats that are fantastic people. what needs to happen within the Democratic Party is they have to turn their back on the radicals within their party that are advocating for these destructive policies that are going to bring our nation down. These are not just conversation points of, oh, you're making it uncomfortable. These are the proof of concept, like you just said, with Venezuela, Cuba, other countries that have tried to go down this path. It will be the destruction of this nation if we continue down the path of people wanting free things on the backs of those who are willing to work. It doesn't happen. And there's no place that you can point to that says, hey, here's a success story.
Well, and the arrogance to sit there and think, well, it hasn't worked for hundreds and hundreds of years, but this time we got it figured out.
Yeah.
There's enough track record to say, to do the same thing over and over and over and expect a different outcome, that's the definition of insanity.
That's right. Yep. And the whole concept of this democratic socialism, Kanye, it is insanity, and we're not going to have it. It's not taking place under my watch, not taking place under our watch, is it, Brett?
That's right.
You're listening to the Marc McMain Show. Stick around. We'll be right back.
John's Supermarket in downtown Monroe is proud to serve the Walton County community for over 50 years. 3 generations of the Thompson family offering the freshest produce, quality meats, everyday essentials, and now featuring Bistro South, a quick service restaurant with freshly made Southern cuisine and ready-to-heat gourmet meals. Always proud to support local farmers and suppliers, John's Supermarket has the best meat in town and tons of weekly specials. Stop by and see them for all the ingredients, meals, snacks, sweets, gifts, and everything in between you need.
It's family fun every Saturday night at the Winder Barrel Speedway in Winder. Gates open at 4 p.m. and the green flag drops at 7 p.m. Don't miss the excitement of the greatest show on dirt as drivers buckle up, get door to door and bumper to bumper that take that checkered flag. It's the Winder Barrel Speedway, 330 Donahue Road in Winder. Call 770-867-6327 or go to winderbarrelspeedway.com. It's the place to be on Saturday night.
Hey, this is attorney Bart Bitton with Bitton & Bitton. I live and work right here in Monroe, Georgia, and I am proud to serve this area. If you've been hurt in a car accident, you don't need some out-of-town lawyer that treats you like a number. You deserve a local lawyer you can trust, someone who lives here, works here, and takes care of people. So remember this, if you're ever in a car accident, be smart, call Bart. Bitton & Bitton, local lawyers you can trust.
I've got to tell you about the best kept secret in Monroe for electric wholesale supply, Allen's Electric. Family owned and operated since 1972, Allen's Electric offers a complete line of electrical supply, wiring, breakers, bulbs, heating elements, electric motors, light fixtures, and so much more. Located at 925 West Spring Street in Monroe, stop by and see Brian and Cindy, in business for over 50 years. That's Allen Electric Supply, 770-267-5572.
Welcome back. Marc McMain, Brett Malden. Chastity, are we behaving today? Are we doing a good job?
Hey, y'all are doing a great job.
All right. You approve of our
great.
performance today?
Absolutely.
All right, good. I just want to be sure you're happy.
Very patriotic.
All right, so we talked about the nut jobs in the Democratic Party, the radical socialists who want to destroy this beautiful experiment that we call America here on our 250th birthday. But what I want to close with, and I've been enjoying this, Brett, are all the social media posts of those who have come to our great nation to enjoy the World Cup, and they're blown away as to how fantastic our country really is.
Oh, absolutely, man. And it's making me have a fresh perspective on it and a fresh look,
a new appreciation.
Yeah, and they're like, we owe you guys an apology. Over and over and over. That's the common theme. Like, we believed everything. We thought that 1 out of every 10 people that visited over here was going to get shot and killed.
Well, you know what's interesting? If you were to meet somebody who lives in another country, oftentimes they get their news source from radical left-leaning media, whether it be Univision, what's the other one, Telemundo. I have friends down in Mexico. They get their news from the New York Times. That's, probably the last place you need to get your news from if you don't want a biased twist. So when you hear these stories of fans from Switzerland, Germany, Scotland, England, repeatedly commenting on the strangers here, the Americans were nice, were amicable. Not everybody. I know some jerks. We all have jerks, that we come across. But for the most part, we're nice folks.
Yeah.
There's a famous guy, German fan named Freddie, who's become an internet sensation after posting some enthusiastic videos about everyday American life. And these are things, Brett, that I think we take for granted. He talks about massive gas stations. The Waffle House.
They have fallen in love with the Waffle House. I'm like, that's just Southern hibachi, you know?
That's classic. But the Waffle House, we take it for granted.
Yeah.
I'll drive by 4 of them when I leave the station to go back to my house.
We have 2 of them on either side of I-20, literally within 200 yards of I-20 bridge in Morgan County.
Well, sometimes you don't want the inconvenience of having to cross over the bridge. You need that on your side of the bridge.
Well, they always talk about it whenever they're looking at weather and how bad the weather is. If the Waffle House shuts down, you better leave.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be open 365, 24/7. If they board up their windows,
Something
you
bad's
better
about to
get out of
happen.
town.
That's right. Well, the other thing that I love, and this one is right on, the size of our vehicles, pickup trucks, SUVs. You know, you go to Europe, you go to other countries, they don't have that. Mexico has more, but you can thank us for that.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that there's some of that bleed over. But you're right. You know, these big 6-8 seating SUVs that we drive. I know you pulled up in a nice big F-150. Those, we're fortunate.
Well, there was a guy from Australia, too. He's a great guy to follow, and he was blown away that you can shop at a grocery store or at Walmart to get fireworks. They're like, people will come over from Australia just to shoot fireworks because we don't have that opportunity. And you don't think about that. The other thing is he went to Texas Roadhouse. He's like, we went to a fine dining establishment, Texas Roadhouse, and they brought us free bread, and we're like, oh, we didn't order this. They're like, no, it's free. I'm like, free? And then they were blown away by free refills. So sodas and tea.
Something we take for granted.
Yeah. And they're like, I can have as much as I want. I'm never leaving. I'm like, well, y'all might, instead of in college, they call it the freshman 15. Y'all are leaving with the freedom 15.
That's right.
When you go back home.
Yeah, the thrill runs out after a little bit. And, it's something, again, that we take for granted, but we don't take for advantage. But yeah, the idea that you go into a restaurant, because you're right. You go into a restaurant now that doesn't offer free refills, that stands out.
Oh yeah,
that's a shocker.
Yeah, you're like, well, we're never coming back here again.
Yeah, that's right. Especially if you're going to drink 3 or 4 Cokes, and they charge $3 a Coke now at a restaurant. Yeah. You go broke doing that.
So one of the cool things I saw was Glasgow. I think it was Glasgow that was doing it over in Scotland, because you've seen everybody on social media seen the how Scotland has just invaded Boston, and they hit it off. And Glasgow's mayor has said that they are now creating a partnership to where it is Glasgow West or whatever East for where Boston
for
is
Boston
now.
Is, yeah.
And the joke was, they're like, in 9 months there's going to be a lot of redheaded children born up in Boston.
They're falling in love with their country.
Well, I told somebody, I said, hey, listen, we need to start giving some kind of exchange program for all these people that actually want to be over here.
Yeah.
I was like, hey, I will gladly take a couple of redheads from Scotland for a couple of blue hairs from,
Let's create the transfer program.
That's right.
I'm all about it. People love our country, want to come here and participate in this great
I can
experiment.
get behind that transfer portal big time.
Amen
like
to
a
that.
college transfer portal for unhappy citizens.
Well, in addition to unlimited soda refills, free ice machines, 24-hour stores, we don't see as many of those post-COVID because, Kroger, Walmart used to be 24 hours, but there's still some. Oversized food portions, heck yeah. You go to any restaurant, especially the moms and pops, you go to a good restaurant, you go to Potluck and you get what do they call that thing, the dog pound? That plate of biscuits and bacon and ham and gravy and grits. Good Lord, the thing weighs probably 5 pounds.
Yeah.
My son and I can order it and share it.
Well,
dog pile, I think is what they call it, the dog pile.
There's a guy, Josh from England. He's been posting for years and years. He loves it over here. And he said people from Europe don't understand how big the United States is. They said England, all of England, can fit into one of the national parks in Alaska.
Think about that. Yeah.
He said you can drive and cross, I think it's 7 countries in Europe at the same amount of time, or it would actually take you longer to drive across the whole state of Texas than it would
to traverse 7 countries in Europe.
That's wild.
Think about that. No, many visitors say the U.S. is nothing like the image portrayed by media, international media, which we know has a bias. Several first-time travelers have posted they expected a colder or less welcoming country, but instead found warm hospitality. And that's just not here in the South, which we're known for our Southern hospitality here in the South. This is in the Northeast, like you said, in Boston. And when I've traveled to New York, we would go up to New York for the big tennis tournament, the U.S. Open in the fall. And I haven't been since COVID, but when we'd go, it's incredible, the hospitality. Now, yes, they're a little bit different. They're not, as warm as we are. But when you start to get to know the folks up there, especially the shop owners, the pizza place owners, they're incredibly warm, loving people. Just everyone has their own different approach. So I love hearing how people have come to this country and they see what you and I have known for our entire lives, that this is the best country in the world. It is a loving country. It is a God-fearing country. It is the land of opportunity. If you want to come here and you want to participate in this experiment, we will welcome you with open arms. We just want you to come the right way. We want you to come legally, and we want you to come to work.
Mm-hmm. And we have air conditioning.
How do you survive without air conditioning, Brett?
Man, I'm listening to these people. I'm like, y'all are having to sleep in Mondami-driven 78-degree Hope.
What at night in the Malden household? What's the temperature in your house?
My wife likes to have our bedroom around 68.
What?
She likes to sleep at 68, so I'm under the covers, and she's on top of the covers.
Your house is affectionately known as the igloo.
100%.
I'm 67.
Yeah.
67? Are you nuts?
67.
Do you know what your electric bill has to be?
It feels so good. I would much rather be cool than hot. So.
All right, prepare for the McMain household. Now Liliana fights me on this all the time because she does like it cold like you. I'm 78.
Whoa.
Yeah. And
no way.
Yeah, it's 78.
78.
Yeah, I can't. It gets too cold. I start getting I don't know.
Dude, growing up, my dad, you did not use the air condition. It was the attic fan.
There you go. That's all you need. I just need a breeze. I have to have a ceiling fan.
Yeah.
See, I could sleep at 85 and a ceiling fan going, and I'm fine.
We used to sleep with our windows open. You just hope you had screens so the bugs didn't come in. And the attic fan. And it's like, Dad, I am like burning up. He's like, your body creates its own cooling mechanism. It's sweat.
Your dad is right on.
That's true.
Your dad was right on.
My brother-in-law used to come over to the house, and he would just go sit in his car after a little while so he could run the air condition.
It was that hot.
I'm like, Dad, you're going to run off my future brother-in-law over air conditioning.
Maybe he didn't like him.
Right.
No, he loved him. Yeah, some of the other ones I wish they would have ran off sooner. But
well, 67, 68. Yes. Y'all's electrical bill has to be through the roof. Guys, this is a lot of fun. Brett, thanks for hanging out with us today.
Man, thank you for the opportunity. It's always a blast to come hang out with you guys.
And we'll get Brett done in here. We'll do a little, little three-way conversation in the next couple of weeks. He's a busy guy. He's a lawyer. He's out defending somebody. But we'll do that, and we'll do the Imperfect Dad segment in the near future as well. Nice. Folks, I will be back on tomorrow covering for Bob Fuhrer. I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know who my guests are tomorrow, but we're going to have a good time. I can promise you that. And I want to say this again. We're going to celebrate 250 all month long in the month of July. There has never been a better patriotic song than what I'm about to play for you. This is the best rendition of the Battle Hymn of the Republic. It is done by a group called Stryper, which, believe it or not, this was a heavy metal Christian band out of the 80s. Before you judge, listen to this song. This will blow your doors off. This is patriotic music at its finest. God bless everybody. We'll see you tomorrow at noon.